Okay, the second part is, are they actually interested in working with you? This one's kind of easy, okay? Because obviously, if you're showing them houses, if they're getting emails from you, if you're connecting, if they feel like they are your client, if you feel like you are their agent, then obviously there's rapport. Obviously, there's interest in working together, okay? So the I part is not that hard. The third part is important, which is realistic. How realistic are they? Okay, now this is based on budget, based on expectation, based on whether or not they know the market. Some people who don't know the market may seem that they are unrealistic, but they're actually realistic. They just haven't been educated. Okay, and that's where you come in. You come in to educate them about the market, about what's available, about the price ranges, about the different communities, about the different neighborhoods, all right, about what the different grant programs and incentives that are available. Then you determine based on those conversations if they're realistic or not. A lot of people coming to our area, for example, right? If they're coming from, we had a lot of people who moved here from like Dallas, okay, or from like Tennessee, from places where it's a lot cheaper to buy homes, and they moved to the Washington D.C. area, and they're expecting to be able to buy a single family home for $200,000. Because in their market, that's how much single family homes are. They come here, they tell our team, oh, my budget's 200 to 250,000. My agents would think they're unrealistic because that's not the price ranges here, right? But then when you educate them about what's the actual price ranges here, that's when you determine if they're actually unrealistic or if they're just hasn't done any research. So realistic is important. The fourth part is really important too. Motivated. Is there a motivation? Is there a time frame? Is there a reason why they're buying? Or are they just window shopping? Does that make sense, guys? So when they check off every single one of those boxes, FIRM, I will bend over backwards. I will go the second mile. I will go extra above and beyond to make sure we get them a house. But before you go to that side, like going the extra mile, first qualify them using this formula. FIRM.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope this helps, because if you figure this part out, then you know you're spending time with the right buyers and the right sellers.
Mm-hmm.
I have walked out from appointments before, of course not in a rude way, but I've told people before, hey, I don't think I'm the right agent for you. Why? Because they're not firm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're either they're very unrealistic, or there's no motivation, or they're just financially unable to buy, or either they're not interested in working with me, or I'm not interested in working with them, so the I wasn't there.
Yeah, I think their problem is in the realistic, because when I started sending them the homes at the budget of 200, they didn't like any of them, because they were like new construction. And I was telling him that there's no new construction at that price point. So then I found out he was looking with his son, and then I came up with that idea of the duplex that is more or less on the 400,000 new construction, and so they could live together. It's a new construction, is what they want. But then he was complaining that there's no garage or no backyard. Well, and then I had to sort of educate him that not all of the duplexes do have that. The garage in the backyard. So it's kind of that he has expectations that they don't meet or they don't match the market, so.
Okay, here's the question. Who picked $200,000 as a price range? Him?
When he talked to the lender, that was the price point that was given to him.
Okay. Now, is there any areas in Houston that he can get a new construction with a backyard for $200,000?
And that's the other thing, that then he became more insistent on the area, and he wanted areas where you could not find at that price point, like Sugarland or Rosen. So then I sort of did a search for him, and then the duplexes that were new construction were on the northeast, east, or south, and he didn't want that areas. So I sort of selected the best two duplexes because I didn't want to send a bunch of them. I selected S2 to put together a tour, and then he was like, yeah, but this one doesn't have the garage or doesn't have this. Do you have the entire list and as close as possible So I ended up sending the closest one to where he wants to. It's still far away, but they're not new construction. There's maybe one of them that is new construction. So I just sent in the whole list. It was like 10, and let him decide if he likes any to put together the tour. But it's been a lot of back and forth.
All right, you need to know the couple formula, the CPL formula. Okay. So when you're doing consultations with buyers and sellers, well, buyers in this case, you need to have this in mind. CPL, C is condition, P is price, L is location. Okay. So when you're talking to people, you're trying to figure out what's most important to them. The condition of the house, which in this case, they want brand new, the price of the home, which is they're capped at 200, or the location of the home, which is they want in Sugar Land. And you present it to them. What's most important to you, Mr. Mrs. Buyer, between these three things? The condition, price, and the location. What's the top two of those?
Okay.
Is it most important for you to be in Sugar Land? Obviously, the price is $200,000. So we can't really play around with that. The price is already given. You already know that's their max. You might be able to talk to another lender and see if somebody else has a special incentive program that get them to 15 to 20, maybe to 25. Maybe give them an option of maybe you can borrow money from a family member. Maybe you have a 401k that you can borrow money against. But price is going to be in that price range. So of the other two, condition and location, which one is more important to you? If I can get you a home for 200 to 210,000 in the brand new or close to brand new, but not in Sugar Land, or do you want a home for 210 in Sugar Land? Which one do you want? Okay, so this way is a very there's a framework behind the conversation. It's not just like, all right, let's figure out what you want, and it's a very there's too many things to choose from.
Right.
Can I ask something?
I get it.
Can I ask something?
BL, condition, price, location. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, which one's most important to you? Yes, David.
Is two different families purchasing one home, or each one is purchasing a home of 200? Mark.
Yes. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So initially there were two families, and each one of them were like Alma was working with the son, and I was working with the father. And Alma and I found out, and then and they wanted to be closer together, but neither of the clients told us. We didn't know that they wanted to be close to each other, and so that's when I came up with the idea of the duplex. I was like, well, that way we can get a new construction, and they can be living close together, so it was sort of a win-win for everybody, and they like the idea, but we cannot meet the expectation of the area. We cannot get them where they want to be.
So each one qualifies for 200?
No, the son qualifies for 240 actually, and the new duplexes are at 400, more or less, 390, 380, something like that.
If they combine both of them, they can easily get one of those.
Correct.
If they like to live that close by, sometimes it's not that good. I don't know, right?
Right, David. That's a good idea. Good point. There you go.
Yes.
So hopefully that helps.
What was the point, David? Sorry.
That's $450,000 that you can get some, that price range with a garage and the stuff that they're looking for, I would say. But I don't know if they would like to live, next to each other, next door to each other. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not that good. You have to find out exactly,
Yeah.
And if it is some houses around Houston under 200, they are new. They are not new, and the neighborhoods, they are more or less, not that bad, not that good, fair. But that's up to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't want to go that far now. They're set on the southwest.
Hard work to do, man.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, but thank you. Appreciate both of your feedback. Thank you, John. Thank you, David.
Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, of course.
What else? What about everybody else? What else is happening in your world that you need help with today that I can assist with?
Well, I'm gonna have a customer or potential client coming next week. I've been talking to him for not too long, but he hasn't been defined yet exactly what he wants. And he lately used asked me for apartment complexes. That's kind of commercial.
Yeah.
And I say yes, of course I can do that. But I'm gonna have to ask him for give me some reassurance that he can buy it or he can qualify for, before proceed to do anything else. Maybe like a month ago, I crossed by an offer for 97 doors, and I told him the price point was kind of close to 10 million. And he said, that's too much. Well, that's what I told him. Well, that's the asking price. That doesn't mean that you're going to have to pay that $10 million for it. But he never come back to me on that.
Okay.
So it's kind of deviating at this time. So I'm going to tell him that, hey, I need to give you some more feedback from your side. I need to see if you have the money. I just tell me that you have, and the bank names and stuff like that, so I can more or less start looking more deeply into it. I guess that's the correct approach for me, right? Instead of go blind and go look for something that I don't know if you can qualify for or something like that.
Right. You can also ask him, has he seen anything online that he wants to look at?
Well, yeah.
Did he say?
No, he said that he wants to work with me, but I don't have no feedback on that side. I asked him if I can send them to a lender. He said no, not at this time. So I'm gonna let him know. Well, when is gonna be the time for it? Because I mean, if I call somebody and ask him for the price point and stuff, and if I tell them that I have a potential client for it, they want to see some numbers. They want to see if
for sure. But that's the second step. The first step is if there's something that he actually wants to see in person, then you can say, hey, the owner of the house requests that you provide proof of funds. It becomes a requirement because one of the things that let's go back to one of the square ones. What do buyers want?
Correct.
Right. What do buyers want? Buyers don't want agents. They want houses. Okay.
Correct.
They want to have access to homes at the best price, and they want to get access to it hassle-free. Okay. Those are the three things. When you're talking to buyers, keep that in mind. It's not about the interest rate. It's about the home at the best price. Okay. It's about the home at the best payment. That's all they care. That's actually all they care about. All right. If the interest rate is 20%, but it's in the right payment and it's the house that they want, they'll buy it. It's about the best price, the best home, and hassle-free. So when you're trying to get a buyer to respond to you, first just, hey, what home do you want to see? And then when they really have a home that they want to look at and they're excited about it, they're going to go the next step, which is if you want them to be like, hey, the homeowner of this home requests that you provide proof of funds, they're more likely than not give you proof of funds at that point, especially if they're excited to get access to that house. Okay. I understand because I was also trained to always ask for that proof of funds or pre-approval letter beforehand. Okay. But if you take the approach of, hey, what do you actually want? And you realize what they want is the house, then use that as the bait. Okay. It's like fishing. When you want to fish for a shark, you put the right bait in the water. If you want to fish for a buyer, you put the right bait in the water and they'll respond to you. And by talking about the house and not the financing or about the proof of funds, you'll get them to actually respond and move further. And then when they get close to the house, you ask for the proof of funds before they can go in.
I will try and see what happens. I will let you know sometime next week.
You tell me next week. It's more likely to move them further closer to you than to push them away by doing it that way. Okay?
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. What else is happening? What else is happening that I can help with today?
John, I have one. So what would you say? Like, I spoke with a lead, like, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. He saw one of our posts on Marketplace and he filled out one of our Google Forms. But then when I called, he just wanted the address of the house because he told me that he already has a realtor, and I asked him if he's committed. He said yes, he just wanted the address. So how would you handle that?
Give them the address. So give
So
them the
I-
address.
Okay.
To give them the address and then ask, is this the only home? Would you like to have access to all the other homes that you can't find online? So you can give them the address, right? By the way, Natalia, here's the address. By the way, Natalia, are you thinking of making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? Did you have a home that you need to sell, or are you renting right now? Were you looking to buy first or sell first? And then at that point, you'll be like, I have an agent already. I totally understand. I wasn't asking if you have an agent or not. If they say I have an agent, I understand. Many of my clients, they came to us because they have an agent, but they were unhappy with their agent. They were not able to get access to the best houses. Would it be helpful if we give you access to all the best homes, properties, pictures, descriptions of all the properties from every single real estate companies, including homes that you cannot find online? Would that be helpful for you? Do you see how I just brush it off? Everybody has an agent. I am never surprised when they say I have an agent. In fact, I expect them to tell me they have an agent. So when they say I have an agent, here's a script. I understand. Many of my clients, they came to me when they have an agent, but they were unhappy with their current agent because they were not able to find the best homes, or because they keep on missing out on the best homes. And we have all the best homes. So would it be helpful? And just go straight to the offer. Would it be helpful if I get you access to all the best homes? Picture description for all the best homes from every single real estate company emailed over to you as soon as they become available, including homes that you cannot find on Zillow, Trulia, or Realtor.com. Would that be helpful for you?
Okay, I will
Yeah.
do it.
Because everybody has an agent. Guys, everybody in this room, when you're talking to people, you can always assume they may actually have an agent, by the way. All right, so don't be surprised. They may actually have an agent that have already opened a door for them once because they went on Zillow and they contacted and they clicked on inquiry, right? And somebody opened the door for them. They met an agent once before. And they use that excuse on you because in their mind, they have quote unquote an agent that they like. That was nice to them, okay? Or they might just tell you that because they don't want to talk to you. I have an agent, which some of you would do the same, okay? So an excuse or an objection of I have an agent, that's very common. Just brush it off. Just keep on going with the script, all right?
John,
What?
I have one.
Daria, congratulations yesterday. Daria, who's been in touch with somebody from our pond, got a referral from the person she was helping. So congratulations.
Thank you. I haven't even bought them. Like, I haven't even actually like closed on the transaction with them. So that was really, really cool.
Awesome. Because you know why? People, if you make them feel cared for and special, we talked about this the other day. They don't remember what you say anyways. They don't remember what you promised them, but they remember how you make them feel. If you make them feel amazing and loved and cared for, you're top of mind and they start referring you.
Yeah, that was cool. I made some connections yesterday on the neighborhood playground, and this guy said that his friend has been like submitting offers on houses in Clarksburg, but keeps on losing out. Has been losing out on the properties and stuff. And I kind of joked around, and I was like, "Well, tell him to submit offers in like December and January. He'll be like one of the only ones." And I was like, everybody's on vacation. And I was like, just make sure they have an agent that's not on vacation. And I was like, I'll be here in December, just jokingly.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'll tell him. And so I was wondering what you think I should do. Like, should I reach out to this person that I made a connection with and be like, hey, like, please pass on my information to your friend. I will work with my team to make sure that they get the winning offer.
Yes, you should definitely do that.
Okay.
And then the other thing also is keep in mind on our social media posts, because you're going to start seeing posts of We Brought the Buyer post with your teammates. Okay. And you can take those posts and send it to him or her and be like, hey, we just help another buyer. We just help another buyer. We just help another buyer.
Yeah.
Because they need to see proof that our team's actually helping buyers win out. So the more proof you can show them, and just like look at our social media on Instagram or on our Facebook, and just take some of those. If you want us to brand it with your face, with your picture, we can also do that. Just let me know, and I can ask our assistant to put your photo on this on some of those templates alongside the agent, and in that way it will give you credibility, because they might be like, that's impossible. There's no way their team's actually helping buyers right now when my friend's losing out on these houses.
Mm-hmm.
So what they need to see is social proof that it's actually happening with our team.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Yeah. Yep. I'll do that.
So go through our Instagram. If there's anything that you want me to customize and co-brand with you, I can ask Milani to do that for you, and Milani is one of our assistants, and she can do that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. I'll let you know. Thank you.
Awesome.